All right, today we are diving into something that's a real game changer for any reader or writer, literary analysis. We're going to build a simple, super powerful toolkit that'll help you stop just scratching the surface and start making some really sharp, insightful points about any text you come across. So let's get right into it.
You ever get that feeling? You're staring at a page and you just know there's something deeper going on with the words, but you can't quite find the language to explain it? Trust me, you are not alone. It's a really common hurdle, but it's one we are about to clear, together.
Now, take a look at this sentence. This is the kind of thing you see in essays all the time. But let's be honest, what does it really say? Not a whole lot, right? It's kind of like saying a chef uses ingredients to cook food. Well, yeah, of course they do. Today, we're going to learn how to go way, way beyond a statement like this and say something that actually means something.
So here's our game plan. We're going to break down tone, diction, and perspective. Then we'll see how they all link up, and we'll build a hands-on strategy you can use on any text. By the end of this, you're going to have a powerful new analytical toolkit.
Okay, first up, tone. This is all about playing detective. It's about getting inside the author's head and figuring out their specific attitude about whatever they're talking about.
So here's the absolute crucial point. Tone is the author's feeling, not yours. It's their attitude. Are they being serious, sarcastic, happy, sad? A really great way to think about it is to imagine the tone of voice you'd hear if the author was sitting right there reading the text out loud to you.
Let's see this in action, because this makes it crystal clear. In all four of these examples, the event is exactly the same, a murder confession. But the feeling, the attitude, the tone is completely different in every single one. Just look at how the specific words completely shift the tone from being matter-of-fact to shocked to guilty, and then all the way over to vengeful. It's a perfect example of how an author's word choice directly creates the tone.
And that whole idea of word choice is the perfect segue to our next tool, diction. You see, if tone is the attitude, then diction is how the author builds it. It's the bricks and mortar, the fundamental building blocks of tone. So on the surface, diction is just word choice. But it is so much more than that. Think about it. The words a person chooses can be like a fingerprint. They can reveal their background, their education, their entire way of looking at the world. An author carefully picks every single word to show us exactly who a character is and where they come from.
Okay, let's put this under the microscope with a classic example from The Great Gatsby. On the left, you've got Nick Carraway, our narrator. Listen to his diction, unutterable visions, perishable breath. It's so elevated and poetic. Now look at the right. This is Gatsby himself. His style is way more direct, way more plain, getting deeper in love every minute, old sport. The difference is huge, right? Nick's formal diction shows us his educated background, while Gatsby's simpler, more everyday language hints at his very different life story. Same topic, love, but the diction reveals two totally different people.
All right, so that brings us to our third and final concept, perspective. If tone is the specific attitude in any given moment, perspective is about zooming out. It's the author's broader, overall viewpoint on the entire subject.
To put it simply, the author's perspective is just their big picture stance. What's their final verdict on the topic they're writing about?
And the great thing is, we can usually boil that big picture stance down to one of these three simple categories. Is the author's overall view positive? Is it negative? Or are they trying to stay right down the middle, totally neutral? It's a simple framework, but it's a surprisingly powerful way to analyze a text. Okay, so we've got our three key terms. Now, let's connect the dots and see how they form this really clear, logical chain that you can use in your own analysis. This slide right here, this is the key takeaway of this whole thing. It's a three-step process. You start small, at the word level, by analyzing the diction. Then, those specific word choices reveal the author's tone, their attitude in that moment. And finally, when you add up all those different moments of tone, you can identify their overall perspective on the subject. Just remember this chain. Diction leads to tone, which reveals perspective. So that's the theory. But how do you actually use this knowledge to become a better reader and writer? Let's get practical and load up that new toolkit of yours. Here is a fantastic hands-on method called the read strategy. It's super helpful. First, you read the text aloud. It really helps you get a feel for the voice. Then you examine the specific details that jump out at you. Next, you analyze the word choice, the diction. This is where you'll really start to see the tone. From there, you can draw a conclusion about the specific tone in that part. And finally, after looking at a few parts, you can determine the author's overall perspective. It's a step-by-step guide to putting our little chain of analysis into practice.
Okay, quick tip, but this is a huge one, especially for any multiple choice test you might take. Be really, really cautious of answer choices that use absolute words like these. Always, never, all, only. Think about it. Things are rarely that black and white. Because these words don't allow for any exceptions, they are very often incorrect. Spotting them can help you eliminate wrong answers super quickly.
Let's wrap this up with one last look at The Great Gatsby. Here we have Tom Buchanan, Daisy's husband, talking about a book he's reading. Now notice how he tries to present his ideas. He calls it scientific stuff, trying to sound all official and intelligent.
But look closer at his actual words. Phrases like scientific stuff and that little hesitation, will be utterly submerged. They sound pretty simplistic and clumsy, don't they? His own diction actually works against the powerful intellectual image he's trying to sell. So the final question I'll leave you with is this. How does Tom's own choice of words completely undermine the very argument of superiority he's trying to make? Answering that, well, that's where the real analysis begins.